Executive orders are a very powerful tool in presidential authority. And so it is, as we think about the three different branches of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. For the executive branch, executive orders are very important because it enables the president to carry out key aspects of running the federal government. A lot of times, without the delay of congressional passing of laws or the negotiations that typically go into that. So it allows the president to carry out policy actions. Historically, it's been used by every single president, especially in the modern era. It's been quite common. One can understand a criticism where folks may be concerned that it expands presidential authority, but there's no question that it is a critical tool for the president.
Legally, he's allowed to do that. There is no question about that.
Absolutely,
it's within his authority to do that.
Absolutely, there's no question. And I would also say people are within their authority to criticize, but that's part of what makes the democratic system work efficiently, is having all of that. But there's no question that the president does have authority to do what he's doing.
Executive orders that he has signed this far, it's called the U.S. Foreign Corruption Practices Act. What are your thoughts about that?
So the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, also known as the FCPA, which was, it's been in force since 1977, is essentially an anti-bribery statute. And it has two key provisions. The first one is the anti-bribery provision, and then the second set of provisions are the accounting provisions. So the anti-bribery piece prohibits the corrupt offer or payment of anything of value in exchange for business. And that piece actually impacts not just U.S. companies and persons, but also companies listed on the U.S. Stock Exchange and also companies that may be doing business in the U.S. So it has broad extraterritorial reach as well. The second side of it is the accounting provisions, which require companies to make and maintain accurate books and records. So it's the accounting provisions and the anti-bribery provisions.
Well, I've talked to people who work in anti-corruption offices, these agencies that have been set up by most African countries. They argue that if this was to stop, it's going to encourage a lot of people in some of these government offices to engage in corrupt practices. This has been one of the guardrails stopping people from, getting all sorts of benefits using their offices.
I think that's a really fair point. There have been some concerns around moral hazard, but I do think that for businesses, you again don't want to find yourself on the wrong side of the law. You may, I think there will be some who will engage in improper practices, but the president noted was his concerns around potential lack of competitiveness for American companies, so the fact that American companies may not be able to compete at an equal footing. That said, he did not reach a conclusion and say the statute should be repealed. He advised the Attorney General to issue guidance. So my biggest recommendation has been wait and see. Wait and see what guidance the Attorney General comes out with. Don't go through a massive reversal of policies or practices for 180 days, and then 180 days later, you're in a position where you have to now resurrect those policies and practices. And so I do think it's a time of wait and see.